episode 2 of the Orbital Drop podcast. Over here, joining us are Cancel, Ty, and our third friend. I will call him Mando. We're going to give
He's
our
just
thoughts.
not going to talk.
Yeah, he's probably not going to talk. And today we'll be giving our thoughts on the Halo Infinite campaign. Last episode it was multiplayer, so if you want to see a 40-minute plus episode breakdown of our campaign, of our thoughts on the multiplayer, watch that. But today we're going to talk about the campaign, and we got a whole lot more to say. So starting off, first impressions and expectations before. What were we expecting, and how did we feel before the game released? Just by the footage, how did they build anticipation? Were you hyped for the game? Did you think that the information you were getting was proper throughout the development? Were the commercials good? All those things. Who wants to go first?
I'll say first off, I think marketing came a bit late, in my opinion.
Okay.
For one thing, and I did have. I was excited for it, but I try not to set my expectations too high.
Okay. Was that more because of the way Infinite was marketed, or because of the previous track record?
Just to be safe, really, not just because. Yeah.
All right. What do you think of the ads and the footage and the demo and all that stuff that showed off the campaign?
So the Become advertising campaign I thought was actually pretty good. I just wish we got more of it.
Right.
The campaign demo last year, I think the gameplay looked good, but it still looked like it needed more work.
Yeah. Cancel. What do you think?
Wait, what are we?
General thoughts on the marketing, the development, the information, the ads.
Well, the marketing I thought was pretty good because they had those trailers and
yeah,
they were being advertised all over the place. So I thought the marketing was pretty good. It was a lot like the Halo 3 marketing with all those live action trailers.
Yeah, and I really love that too.
I like how it felt like they kind of wanted to, like, I don't know how to describe it, just like pay tribute to the Believe campaign, because this campaign for marketing was called Become.
Right. So, all right, moving past. So actually, no, my final thoughts on this is, I generally thought that it was pretty all right, except it came late. It came late, but it also started a little too early. Like, we saw Halo Infinite for 3 E3s. That's not right. They should have canned the first one. And just distribute that extra material in the other two, so that we would get extra material. And we did get a little too many ads truncated towards the end. I wish we would have had it more distributed, like say throughout the summer and just give more of it, more stuff during the last E3. We should have gotten a lot more than the last E3.
I was expecting a lot more marketing over the summer. Not gonna lie.
Right. Like Infinite
because ever since
there were times where we would not get any information for months. It was just a complete blackout.
Yeah, and then I liked the what are they called? The Inside Infinite articles.
Yeah,
but after E3, we basically just stopped getting updated on the campaign and just kind of started.
But I would also like to point out, this is the first I've been tracking. I think this is my third or fourth Halo game that I've been tracking, all the information coming out. And this is the only one I can remember where you're actively looking at all the developer notes as it's coming out. That's a problem, because that shows that there's nothing else for people to look at. And when you start diving into developer notes, that's clear that you don't have proper marketing to evaluate. Halo 5, the campaign was trash, but except for one tiny detail. But the marketing was fantastic. Hunt of Truth, seasons 1 and 2, amazing. The ads, the everything, the marketing was just phenomenal. There was
Titanium, have you seen Hunt the Truth yet?
I've listened to part of it, but I've listened to like 2 hours of it, but I haven't listened to the rest.
Right. Regardless, it was amazing. So the build-up for Halo 5 was astonishing. Infinite lacked that. Not completely. I don't think that the marketing was completely terrible, but I think it's not as great. Undercooked for sure. All right, moving forward. First impressions of the campaign. What do you guys think?
Positive.
Right. What do you think, Cancel?
Is it first impressions from just playing it?
Yeah, just you boot up the campaign, you start playing it. The cutscenes, the gameplay.
It felt right.
What do you think, Cancel?
Honestly, if we're talking about my feelings just when I first booted it up the first time, honestly, it was really mixed. I liked some of the stuff. I didn't like some of the stuff.
What were some of the stuff you didn't like? Because we're probably going to talk a lot about the stuff we like. What was some of the stuff you didn't like when you first booted up the campaign?
Let's see. All right, so I didn't like how they changed up some of the things in the opening cutscene with the pilot. Like, for example, I think Chief in the original trailer he says no, we need to fight, and in this one he says I need a weapon, and it just sounds
I agree.
out of place.
I prefer no. We need to fight over.
I get
this.
it
felt like
it sounded so much better in the trailer.
Yeah, I do get the Halo 2 reference, but you're right. It should have been more of.
But it sounded horrible. It sounded out of place, and the I need to no, we need to we need to run. No, we need to fight.
Exactly.
It's just
exactly.
I think that's better. Yeah, I do think that is better.
All right.
Also, in some ways, I actually think that the 2019 cutscene looked a bit better than the final one.
In some ways,
mainly after when the pilot repowers Chief, like the coloring and like the lighting makes it look a bit dull and lifeless, whereas in the original one, it looked a bit more like lively. It's hard to, for lack of a better term, I guess.
All right, yeah. For me, it was largely. Mind you, am I getting a little bit echo? Never mind. Yeah,
No.
I largely feel the same, except for some of the stuff does look a little better. Like the frost on the screen looks a lot better. Chief looks better. So overall,
yeah, there are aspects that do look better. I just think there are also aspects I think I prefer.
All right. Moving past that, what do you guys feel actually of the opening cutscene? As in Infinity getting
the Infinity.
Yeah, Infinity.
That was good.
What'd you guys?
I liked Atriox kicking Chief's ass.
Yeah. So about that, did that fight look good for you guys? The build up for, mind you, this part of the problem with Infinite.
I don't know, honestly.
Infinite did build upon previous material more than it advertised itself to. I don't think that's bad, but in your guys, if you would have heard Master Chief fights Atriox, and you know who Atriox is because you've played or at least are familiar with Halo Wars 2, do you guys think that fight was worth the what you would picture in your mind of Master Chief versus Atriox?
No.
I mean, I think since it was an opening cutscene, they couldn't do it as much as they might in the future. But it's still I do think Atriox I think Atriox would have kicked Chief's ass regardless.
Right.
Chief did forfeit the fight when he went for the weapon ship. That gave Atriox a chance to carry him into space.
Well,
I think if Chief was 100% focused, he would have killed Atriox.
Chief did just get smashed by the hammer, so
and tanked it.
It didn't look like he tanked it. It looked like he was on all fours.
I like how Atriox just smacked Chief against a warthog.
Right, and Chief almost grabs a tire. It was funny. Either way, by the way, does the cutscene look pre-rendered? Because
it is pre-rendered.
It is pre-rendered. That's what I was saying. It looks better.
The cutscene looks like shit, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say that.
I like how it takes place right after Halo 5's legendary ending.
Right. It literally.
Don't get me wrong. I really like the action we got, especially with the Infinity getting smashed or whatever happened by that banished ship. But I don't know. It just didn't feel right.
All right, that's part of that.
In terms of looks, I just didn't think it looked good.
All right. Either way, what do you guys think of the first level of playing through it? Basic introductions. Pistol, assault rifle. You're introduced to your basic mechanics, your weapons, your enemies, grapple hook, fusion coils, everything. What do you guys think of just first impressions of playing the game on the first level?
First off, I like how it's kind of like an inverse of Combat Evolved, where you start on your own ship, getting infiltrated, and in this game you're infiltrating an enemy ship.
Yep. All right. What do you think, Cancel? Mind you, what difficult you guys played? I did my first playthrough on Heroic.
First time I played on normal.
All right, I played on normal as well, so that may have something to do with it, just for you folks to keep in mind. All right, what do you guys think of just facing the enemies, using the enemies' weapons, using your own weapons? How did that feel?
Felt great.
Really good.
For me, I really loved using the Mangler. The Mangler was just...
the Mangler is my favorite weapon in the campaign,
just
probably.
The Mangler is Bay.
Yeah, the Mangler is based. You mean? The Mangler was just amazing. I just love shooting a
No,
grunt.
it's my bay.
Yeah, the Mangler, using the
Fuck
Mangler to
off.
blow up a grunt, or using the Mangler to like make a brute's like collapse a brute's leg. It's just so nice, and those massive narwhal tusks on the front. Damn, that's powerful. Uh, 8-shot capacity, huge amounts of ammo too. Like 48, it's like 48 plus 8, so 56 of those massive spikes flying at your enemies. I absolutely love that. And what do you guys think after that? What do you guys think of the progression of the mission, the introduction to the basic mechanics of you're probably gonna have to hit some switches, take out some things? Those are some criticism I heard in 343 style of gaming as early back as Halo 4 of the rule 2 or 3, or you hit these switches, destroy these things. What do you guys think of that? Did that become a nuisance throughout the campaign?
No.
I
All right.
don't think so.
All right. For me, they always felt like they were necessary and they felt well integrated enough. Only a couple of times did they really feel like it was too long and too exhausting, but for the most part, I didn't mind it. What do you think, Cancel?
He's muted.
He's definitely a little bitch. All right. All right. Moving on. What do you guys think of the second mission? This is the one where you find the weapon. What do you guys think of just being dropped off there and seeing the Halo architecture? Seeing the
I think it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go first. You
Yes.
finish what you were saying.
Seeing the architecture, seeing the hexagons building themselves, seeing the Forerunner doors, the halls, all these things. What did you think of that?
I think it looked nice. So you know how Cancel's like saying he doesn't like how the game looks super metallic-y / plasticky?
Yeah.
Well, in
Well,
foreign
I
material,
never said that about the Forerunner. The Forerunner architecture
Yeah,
is an
I was about-
exception to that.
I was about to say because these are metal structures that are supposed to have a sheen on them. I think
Right.
it works in their favor.
Right. I really liked it. I also like.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I also really like the contrast between the dark, shadowy, industrial brute ship on the one hand and the sleek, futuristic design of the Forerunner level on the other. I love navigating throughout. I love how the place, like exactly the way the pilot described this place, is beautiful. It looks like it's dying,
This is my
clinging back to life.
one problem with it is obviously during that level we get a bunch of Forerunner weapons, and this goes. I know maybe I'm veering off by talking about weapons, but it just seems so absurd that the Forerunner weapons, what they shoot is like it's a purple in color, and everything, all the Forerunner architecture is just like shiny metal and a blue glow.
Mhm.
It's just so out of place.
So you wanted them to have a blue emanation then?
Yeah.
All right. So blue, gold.
I don't know. Purple just seems so out of place for the Forerunners. It just
Maybe. Remember, purple is just the extension of blue, so violet. So maybe,
Is the what?
like on the spectrum, not the.
No, actually, blue is the opposite of orange.
I didn't say orange. I said purple.
Oh, wait. Purple's the counterpart to yellow, though.
Well, but blue is the next color on the spectrum. Let's not get into that.
That
shut
is
up.
true, but
Either way. So overall, I really like the level. I really love the contrast to the previous level. Now you play through the level, you run around, you shoot some bandage, go through some of those. You get the classic doors dating back from C, and you also get the new doors that just slide apart like honey. Dear God, I love that animation. And then you meet the weapon. Thoughts on that, guys?
weapon's cool. I like her.
What do you think of the introduction? The way she talks to you, the way she exposes information. What did you think of that? Was it handled well, or just like, Chief, I'm the weapon. This is what's going on. How'd you feel about that?
I feel like it fits with the character because she's a younger, more naive Cortana.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So when she exposits that exposition, it's just in character for her to say that.
What do you think, Cancel?
You already know what I think of the weapon.
Yeah, but the people in YouTube land don't, so fucking talk.
Well, I'm not in the mood for going on a rant why I can't stand her most of the time, so I'll just leave
Go
it
ahead,
at that.
Cancel. Go ahead, rant. It's gonna be.
No, I'm not.
Rant. Come on.
I don't even know what to say because I'm not in the mood for that.
All right, Cancel's not in the mood. So my thoughts overall. Her introduction was pretty all right. It was.
I like the rotating silexes spinning around it.
Oh, that was really nice. Now, this is the problem. A lot of information was released to us through the marketing, and I feel like a little too much. I think it would have been better had we not known about the weapon, had we not known about Ajax's death, had we not. We all kind of assumed that the Infinity was going to be destroyed thematically, but it was essentially confirmed. And all this is before game. I feel like this was a little too much information released to us.
Yeah.
I
agree.
think they weren't planning to show the weapon before launch, but like after the game got delayed, I feel like they needed to show something.
It just
They could have left out the Banisher going to fire this ring.
Also,
Yeah.
why does the weapon look like a fucking tranny? Like, actually,
does she?
yeah.
I mean,
Her face modeling looks like shit.
I mean, she's modeled after Joe Staten.
She is the worst looking. I know obviously she's technically not Cortana, but I'll just count her as one.
She's a
and
copy of
say
Cortana.
she looks the worst out of all of them in the games.
I like what was it? I was gonna say. I like.
I don't think so.
Oh no, I don't like. What was I gonna? Oh yeah. The one nitpick I have is facial animations, and a lot of other animations for that matter are capped at 30 frames. So if you're playing on like an Xbox Series X, S, or a computer, then it can look a bit jarring.
The thing with that is, I think 343 made a mistake by having the Halo Infinite be on the
lower
Xbox One series. It just
I think if it would have been
limits the graph. I think that's what's limiting the graphics.
I think if they would have,
obviously.
I think if they would have included the One X, it might have been okay because the One X can do 4K.
Yeah.
But the original Xbox One and the One S, they shouldn't have included it. Which is ironic because I had a One S and I had to upgrade to a Series X. Now I have both of them. Either way,
Am I the only one that has an original Xbox One?
Oh, I have one, but I
Wait,
I
you
don't use.
play
I
on
didn't
it?
use it. Not anymore. I got a Series X.
right. Either way,
No, I'm asking Mando. Does he play on it?
Yeah, a lot.
all right.
Bro.
Either way, moving forward. So, rest of the mission, you take out, you go and you face off with Tremonius. What do you think of the of not only the Tremonius boss battle, but this kind of sets the stage for the boss battles to come. We'll talk about them individually. But what do you guys think of the boss battle mechanic and Tremonius' fight specifically?
It's definitely a huge improvement from Halo 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't call these like I wouldn't really consider these like amazing boss battles, but for Halo standards, I think they're pretty decent.
So, what do you think, Cancel? All right. So for me, I'm okay with the boss battles in Infinite. I think they can be fine tuned a little bit. Talking about Bassus and of course the Spartan Killer Brothers. But overall, I do like what they bring to the table. They could have just either had a bunch of tough enemies, which that would not have been fun, or they could have had an enemy that would have been super tanky, and you would just have to stay and shoot from range. Which sometimes for a couple of them it does feel like that. But the feeling that they're going for is a extra tough regular enemy that you recognize, and they bring to the table what the regular enemies bring, but they have some extra quirks that you have to get used to. So the elites are gonna have camo for longer, and they're gonna have more like interesting sword attack animations. The brutes are gonna they're gonna do the
Actually, I will say, I think 343 did a good job at distinguishing elites from brutes.
Yeah, they definitely did. So I think this is the first game where you have elites and brutes fighting side by side against you. In Halo 1 and 2, it's only elites. Halo 3, it's only brutes. 3 no DST. Reach has brutes and elites separately and very different from each other. This game, it's like, and it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic. Elites have more shields, brutes have more health, but they nuance it pretty well. And of course,
brutes also they interact with the sandbox a lot more. Like they can throw fusion coils
and grunts.
They also use what
and grunts, throw grunts.
Yeah, they do throw grunts. I've only encountered that a couple times.
Die for the banners.
I've encountered it once.
It's really funny.
But they've chucked fusion coils at me before out of nowhere.
Actually, I threw a fusion coil at another brute, and he threw a fusion coil, and they both hit each other midair. That was funny. I caught it. Either way,
you got on.
Yeah, I got that clip. Either way, so the Tremonius boss battle. So we talked about boss battles specifically for Infinite. I think they're all right. I get what they're going. There might be a little bit of a slugfest. Some of the fights, one or two of the fights, on the higher difficulties. But overall, I think relative to Halo in the past, they are good boss battles. Halo 1 treated hunters as mini bosses and whole levels as bosses. Cough the library. Halo 2 had bosses, but they were not good. Halo 3 Halo 3 had the Scarabs as bosses, and I believe they had 3 Scarab encounters throughout the game, right? You have one in the Storm, you have one on the Ark, and you have 2 in the Covenants. And that's supposed to be like the yeah.
Could you count 343 Guilty Spark as a boss battle?
No. That's not a boss.
I
That's
consider it interacting with the story more by being
Yeah.
the one
Right.
killing
The only
guilty spark.
Just like the Didact. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the
we
only
don't speak of that.
right. The only reason, it's the only reason why they had you kill him is that they wouldn't get backlash for doing it in a cutscene. So they would actually have but yeah, it's not a boss battle by any means. Definitely not by infinite stage. And of course, Halo 4 and 5 are just hot trash.
I will say I do prefer the Didact where it was a quick time event over at Warden Eternal.
For sure. But let's not get into that because we could rant for hours about that. Either way, so the infinite bosses I liked. What did you guys think of the Tremonius boss battle? Obviously, it was meant to be an introduction to
It was easy, yeah. When I first saw like gameplay of the game, I thought that Tremonius looked a bit too easy, but then I remembered he's the first boss. Of course, they're gonna make him easier than the rest.
Mm-hmm. I do feel this about the Halo Infinite bosses. If you don't know how to fight them, they can actually be a massive slugfest. I struggle a lot with when I did my normal playthrough. I had no idea how to fight Bassus, or Tremonius for that matter. So, and when I did my legendary playthrough with the tank gun, I tried to fight Tremonius the normal way, and
Fuck, my guys. Sorry, this guy's rubber banding all over the place.
So I didn't know how to fight. I didn't know how to fight Tremonius, and I just kept getting utterly ass blasted by his Hydra. And so the main deal is use plasma, and you have the old Halo adage: plasma for the shields, bullets for the health, once you know that, as well as kind of keeping your range. I mean, some of them you want to keep your range, others you don't, but they normally backslap you pretty hard. They backhand you pretty hard, so you don't want to get too close. But regardless, I feel like Halo Infinite's bosses, they all have their own special quirk and nuance, so that once you understand how to fight them, then they become pretty manageable. Like what's it called? Jaega, however you pronounce it. That was not a really hard boss battle.
Sadly,
yeah, but then again, he's not really dead. We're gonna get into
hopefully not.
We're gonna get into that later. Either way, so Tremonius. After that, you clear out Outpost Tremonius, and you see the crash of the Reverie frigate, which I think that looked amazing. And this is your introduction to the open world. And my God, we can talk about the open world for hours, but we'll try to keep it short. I think this game's
not the best open world out there.
It's the best Halo open world, and that's all that matters.
It's the only Halo open world, buddy.
Halo 1 came close. Halo 3 also came close.
Halo 1 was not open world.
Halo 1 was not open world, yeah, but
at all.
Dude, it was close. Halo 1 came close.
I like how
Halo 1 was not close to open world, trust me.
It had open levels, but it was not open world. It was still linear.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Okay, anyways, I like how everything, like, all the side quests are just optional. Like, they're not mandatory, because that would have just felt like padding.
Yeah. But they do help you out, though. They do help you out.
Yeah, they do help you, but they're not mandatory.
I think they did it perfectly. So
the open world and the gameplay and all of that single-handedly probably, for the most part, in my opinion, carried the campaign. I think that's what makes it so good.
I don't think it... Yeah, actually, no, here's the thing. I feel like...
I mean, just the ability to go around a Halo ring and do whatever you want, it's so fun to play.
I think if it didn't
like swinging around like I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, I love swinging through the trees. Now, I feel like if it wouldn't have had the open world, this game would have been... It would have been okay by Bungie standard games, and it would have been leagues higher than Halo 4 and 5's campaign. So I feel like the game would have still, been able to be somewhat alright.
So it would have been like Reach. I'm just kidding.
I think... Fuck off. It would have been worse than Reach, but still not that bad. Now, the open world
Reach is one of the best Halo games.
I'm joshing.
I know. Either way, so the open world is really nice. Now, I think they went with the best route of making it not necessary, but also useful. And I also really like that you can do whatever you want in whatever order. Like when I first saved my first crew Marines, the ones right next to the first fob. At first, I was afraid because they keep following me, and I'm like, oh crap, am I gonna have to lead them to the base or something? Am I gonna have to watch them? But nope, you can just save them and forget about them, or just shoot them yourself. You don't really have to do anything. And of course, the more things you do, the more advantage you get. And you could, for example, start some of the levels. If you progress enough, you could start some of the levels with a tank or a wasp or a razorback loaded with spankers. what depends on how much side quests you do. And I also really love boy, the audio logs. I love the audio logs. I love the skulls.
Mhm.
You're finally able to find skulls in the map again. I think
Mhm.
I spent so much time. I spent about 60 hours in the campaign. I spent so much time just running around everything, looking for whatever. There's so many also hidden areas where they're not going to appear on the map. Um, but if you find them, then you're gonna like. There's this one place next to it's like near the northern area where it's like a triple sentinel. It's like a sentinel tower with like three forts on a hill, and you look down through the glass and you see that there's banished brutes below you, but you have no idea how to make it in there. But if you go around the hill, you'll find an opening inside, and it's like a giant foreigner building inside with a Spartan core. Now it's just it's just a place there. It's just a place, or there's some caves under the some of the hills. These are just small things, but it's like it adds so much depth to the game because you have reasons to explore. That it's not just go on the map, look on the attack map, and just teleport there or run there. No, it's like you're exploring, you're coming across things. All the downed wreckage that looks also really cool. And so many weapons just lying around. Um, the open world is so nice. Sorry, we got a little off topic. You guys want to add anything to the open world and your thoughts of it and your exploration, that kind of stuff?
Okay, I have a
Well-
couple things to say. I like navigating around the open world. I think it's really fun. I've seen people like say that it's not their favorite thing, and I can respect that. But personally, I really do enjoy it. My one critique, though, is like the most common critique of it is the lack of diversity in terms
Yeah.
of biomes.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely go ahead, guys.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, my least favorite thing about the open world was the assassination missions.
Oh yeah,
I just felt like these characters deserved a little more than just go here, kill this guy, and get his weapon.
Possibly. What do you think,
Like-
Cancel? Or go if you got anything else to say.
No, that's a great point by Mando.
What
I was as a veteran of the Arkham series, I was expecting full-on side missions with these characters. Like in Arkham City, you have an entire side quest dedicated to Hush. That's
Yeah.
a mini story within the main story.
yeah.
It's not just go here, beat up Hush, and go stop Hugo Strange.
Yeah. So what I think there's two possible reasons for that. Either one, they were just looking for ideas for side missions. There again, Infinite was rushed for time. We're going to talk a little bit about the development, but Infinite was rushed for time. So they're either A, looking for things to do, and they just they said, all right, we'll fight some special elites, brutes, whatever, and they gave like a small team the task of like writing a backstory for these guys, and those guys went a little too far, and they gave me in-depth backstories that were a little too a little higher than what was necessary for just essentially slight filler, or they had bigger plans and they had they wanted to make these sub characters, mini bosses, whatever, but they had to get cut because of the hellish development. It's one of the two things. Either way, I see what you guys are saying, and if you're used to like some of these really in-depth open world type games, then you might feel like that. But for me, it's not it's not terrible per se. I'm okay with it. Maybe I kind of wish I would have heard a little bit more. I mean, you don't really get too much about these guys, but I feel like the little bit of information you do get does kind of make you wish you had more. Which honestly, that's kind of always it's better than leaving you just bored. And I mean, so like what? Oftentimes it's just the weapon given a couple of lines, and there's a little bit of some slight entries as well, and that may not be much, but that does the job. Does the job. You kind of wish you would have fought them more, knew more about them, and yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
I like. On one hand, it's a bit sad you can't like get like banished and forerunner weapons at your FOBs,
Yeah, you
but
can.
I do like how
Yeah,
you have to get the weapon variants. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get those.
I think
Yeah, but I mean like the base ones.
Oh yeah, the base ones. Yeah, maybe.
And vehicles.
But I think it's cool that you have to go out of your way to get the special weapons.
Right. And some of the weapons variants you get from the high value targets. And actually, that's another thing is, honestly, one of the good things about the high value targets is that they give you those weapons. That gives him, and I really like those weapons. Those are some nice, like the exploding skewer or the like high capacity stalker rifle. All these things. So I'm okay with the high value targets as they are.
I just wish they did more with Okra Vagadoon because he was the main. I think he was one of the main characters of Halo Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That short story.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I just wish there was an actual side quest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Either way, how'd you guys feel about the progression of your suit? Finding the Spartan cores, upgrading your different things. What do you guys think of that?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What's your what do you guys normally upgrade when you play? Like what's the order? What's the importance?
Well, shields. I would upgrade my shields first and then my grapple shot.
When I'm at my legendary playthrough that I'm still doing, I did shields first, then grapple, and now I'm doing a drop wall.
Okay. Shields first thing.
I
So-
did grapple first.
On my heroic
shield.
playthrough, I did grapple first, and then.
Mhm.
But since that's on legendary, I didn't want all the defense I can get.
Right. Yeah, for me, it's like shield. You kind of, especially on the lower difficulties. I think it's probably better to do grapple first since it gives you so many options. But on the higher difficulties, you might want to just on the higher difficulties might want to do shields first because of the sheer difficulty of the lethality of the enemies. And there are some times when you could feel pretty outmatched. Now, what do you got? What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about the vehicles in the campaign and how they feel there?
I don't like using the chopper.
All right.
Neither do I. It feels like it gets like flipped over on like terrain all the time, so it's not fun to use.
I also don't like using the wasp because you get shot out of the air all the time.
Banshees.
electric.
When you're in air vehicles, it feels like more.
All the air vehicles are
Banshee's fun.
severely underpowered.
Yeah, that's true. The
wasp makes sense because it's like it's super strong, but it can be
It's not.
used effectively, but
Honestly,
it's super weak.
so on my playthroughs, I never used the wasp for anything other than transport. Its weapons were never strong enough, accurate enough, and it could never last long enough in a fight. So not against air vehicles.
I
Not
just
against.
don't understand why they didn't put energy shields on the Banshee.
Yeah. I mean, so historically, the Banshee never had energy shields, but it was also never that weak either. So.
Yeah, Halo 5 Banshee was the first one to have energy shields.
Right. So I mean, it's like you have energy shields if you want them, but I mean, it's like you could just make the Banshee not made out of paper mache. Regardless.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about the ammo consumption and ammo capacity of the weapons? Because they mix it up a little.
It was tolerable for me this time.
Right. What's the
But-
max? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say better than Halo 4.
Right. Oh yeah. Halo 4 is an absolute slugfest. It's so bad. What's the max ammo for assault rifle?
It's probably in like the 200s or something.
Okay.
Yes.
So traditionally, Halo 1 had, of course, 600 plus 60. Halo 2 didn't yet. Halo 3 had.
But also,
yeah.
in Combat Evolved, the thing also held 60 for magazine.
Right. That's what I'm 600 plus 60. Halo 3. Halo 3 had
352, I think.
352 plus 32, right? Halo Reach had it reduced. Halo Infinite, so the assault rifle is reduced, but the BR is massively increased. The BR has double what it had in Halo 3 and Halo ODS. Or Halo ODST didn't have it. Halo 3 ODST didn't have it. But still, so Infinite's got way more BR ammo. The Stalker rifle, which is meant to be kind of like a quasi DMR sniper rifle type thing, that thing has like 30, 40 shots, right? It's massive. What do you guys think? So, what do you guys think of the ammo consumption and ammo availability for some of the weapons? Because it's different for some weapons.
I
I
think
think-
for a good amount of weapons, it's good or it's decent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
Like
so.
I've never really had any problems with the
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never someone who pays that much attention to the ammo consumption because I'm the person that like constantly switches between weapons
Right.
and just is like on the move switching between this and that.
Right.
I don't
And
feel
by the
gimped
time
using.
I mean the ammo's not even depleted by the time I switch. So
And I think that's kind of what they wanted. I think they want you to rapidly switch between weapons.
I never switched to the plasma pistol.
True,
yeah,
that is true.
that weapon's shit. So
Yeah.
Okay, my thoughts is I don't feel gimped with nearly every weapon in this game. Like I feel I can use each weapon, almost every weapon at least.
Right. But I do feel like they did restrict some weapons while giving you like the BR massively increased ammo, but like the Bulldog. So the Bulldog I think it has similar damage profiles to the Halo Reach and Halo 3 shotgun, right?
what do you guys think about the disruptor?
I like it.
I never used him.
I like it too.
I never
In
used him.
campaign, do you think it's because my concern was it was going to be way too underpowered from what we saw in the multiplayer, but I don't know. I found it extremely useful in campaign.
Yeah, it's fun to just blast them.
I used it a
Yeah.
couple of times, but I never used it much, and I don't know why. Maybe just because. Either way,
Hold on a second. I'll
Yeah.
be right back.
Yep. So all right. So some of the power weapons have reduced ammo. So the sniper rifle has 4 less shots. The rocket launcher has 2 less shots. How'd you guys feel about it? Did that ever cause any problems? Did you ever feel like you didn't have enough power weapon ammo on you?
No.
All right. So for me, I always felt like I always conserve my power weapons as much as possible. So for me, I didn't use it when I guess the game would want me to, like in a situation where I'd be facing hunters or whatever. I'd instead use needlers and grenades and save my rocket launcher ammo for whatever. And I would end up in a situation where I have a crap load of rocket launchers, snipers, and skewers, and I'd feel like, bro, I can't leave this. So did you guys ever have any problems with the ammo consumption? Because that's part of the open world experience is, having the right distribution of ammo, so you don't feel like you're scavenging, but you don't also feel like there's overabundance. So did you guys feel that was okay?
No. No. Yes.
Nothing there.
All right.
You're looking in the wrong direction. We need to go home.
I felt like it was good.
All right. Now, we talked about the first couple missions in detail before veering off. Back to the game. Your first experiences going through the campaign. How do you guys think the game set up its story and build up its tension, its mystery, its characters? How did you guys feel that was progressed? From the early to mid game specifically.
I was spoiled, so I couldn't live through much of the mystery.
Oh
so
no, that's so bad. What do you think, Ty?
Not heroics.
The
he's
development.
not back yet.
Oh, what do you think, Cancel?
What was the question again?
So, like the development, how do you think the game built up tension, mystery, characters in the early to mid game? Like, you first stepped onto Zeta Halo, and you're just, you're experiencing it. How do you think the story builds up these emotions?
I thought it did a pretty good job.
All right, Ty. How do you feel like the game? How do you feel the game built up its mystery, drama, suspense, characters in early to mid game? Like your first step onto Zeta Halo, you're headed where the story's sending you. How do you feel the game handled these emotions and things? These feelings.
I was definitely very intrigued to find out what happened. I'll just say that.
So for me, I was really intrigued. I was curious. I wasn't spoiled, but I also covered the development and all the information. I felt like I knew quite a bit of information, but I didn't know anything that the developers didn't throw out there. Now for me, I'll be honest. For me, the build-up was actually pretty awesome. I remember just how afraid I was when I was.
I'll be right back again.
Yeah, I remember just how afraid I was when I first saw the Silex of the Harbinger and what came out of it, and all of the other Silexes, as well as the conservatory. Like, I hear that something's going on there. Pretty much as soon as Spartan Griffin tells me about the dig site, I was like, kind of hesitant to go into the tower as well. But as soon as Spartan Griffin tells me about the dig site, I'm like, oh, some seriously scary shit's going there. Now I go to the dig site, fight Bastus, and the horror mystery didn't happen. But then when you go inside the conservatory, oh boy, that for me, like the feelings, the tingles were definitely kicking into high gear. When you see the monitor and when you hear her talking to the Harbinger and you hear her scream, that was eerie and unsettling in the best way. Like I feel like the buildup was as good, maybe not better, but as good, if not, as good as the buildup for the flood and Halo C. Like it was just really really good. And of course, the big reveal isn't at the end of Conservatory, but that for me even made me even more anxious to go into the Spire because I'm like, oh boy, I'm about to see some really scary stuff in the Spire, and so then you keep playing through the game. I feel like this momentum is a little bit lost. It kind of culminates to a point when you first encounter the Harbinger and she absolutely manhandles you. Part of this momentum is a little bit lost when you reach the mid game and you start facing the Banished again, and you have to hit those beacons, which is more of a fetch quest. Maybe if instead of making it 4 beacons, they only made it 1 or 2, maybe it would have been
Hello?
better. Yeah, I'm just talking about my.
So what are we talking about now?
I'm just talking about my thoughts of the progression. Either way, how'd you guys feel about the characters and how they're established, how they're characterized, built upon in the early part of the game?
I like
I'm gonna
most
make
of them.
All right. Thoughts in specific. What do you guys think about the pilot? I feel like some of the criticism I and others have for the pilot is that sometimes he feels a little too whiny and bitchy. Do you guys think that's
Yes,
fair?
I mean, can you blame him?
but also
It doesn't
That-
matter. It doesn't matter. It's not about building a realistic character in that situation. It's about making a good character. And I'm sorry, but someone who's constantly screaming all over the campaign is not going to make a good character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of who he is, really. He's
Yeah,
nervous.
but in my opinion, you
Personally,
can't-
I can't blame him. Sorry, cancel.
Okay. Also, there's that scene after you take out the anti-aircraft turrets with Chief, where he talks to the pilot. I thought that was a really good scene.
Right. So to me,
Exact perfection.
this is what I feel about him. I feel like he's bitchy and he gets annoying to some points, but it's also so he's meant to contrast from So it's like you got Cortana's or not Cortana, the weapons
Yeah,
knight.
he's meant to
contrast
be the
Chief's.
guy who freaks out at everything Chief does.
Right. Now that might seem like some sort of like basic cartoon where you got the one kid who always rushes towards danger, the one kid who's smarter, and then the one kid who's always afraid. But I feel like in Infinite, it's characterized enough. Like once they explain, slight spoilers, but once he explains that he's a civilian volunteer who really didn't he was not just that he wasn't meant for this, like he wasn't prepared or meant for any of this, and he sees Chief fall, and he sees all of his buddies die. Like he's really had and he lost his family too. He's really at the end of his rope. So, yeah, it's like, and so his bitchiness does get a little too much at some points where I felt like they should have toned it down and he should have just been more afraid rather than openly combative. Like, geez, you're gonna get us all fucking killed. You're just like, right, like sometimes he gets a little too much. And I just want him to shut up. But that one scene at the end of the island mission with the cannons, that was really nice. Yo, Gio's here.
Penis.
All right.
Fuck.
I'll probably edit that out. Either way, so that's
Oh shit, man, gotta edit that out.
the
Blasphemous HD moment.
the scene was perfect. The scene was perfect when Chief and him settle down and they have that character moment, and it really builds upon Chief's prior failings and regrets. And yeah, I think it was. So I think the pilot has a really good arc. He has some stumbles with the establishment of his character, but they pull it off pretty successfully. The weapon, I don't have any problems with her. I think she's all right. Chief, I think, is largely okay. And the mystery that is between Chief and the weapon, I feel like is handled pretty all right. It's both incredibly in your face, but also a reveal. Like you kind of look at her and you're like, bro, that's Cortana, and they tell you, yeah, that is Cortana, and I'm like, yeah, I knew it. But it also it does hit you a little bit when you're not expecting when you don't because you don't expect it for it to be just like that, just outright. Either way, moving on. The enemy. Let's talk about actually. So we're already at 45 minutes. You guys want to break this into a two-parter or what? What do you guys think we should do? Break this podcast into a two-parter.
I don't care.
All right, because we've already talked for like 45 minutes.
Can I give my thoughts on Chief and the weapon?
Go ahead. I think we'll cap it at there. Go ahead.
So, I have played the game The Last of Us, which is about Joel and Ellie, and this game gives me the same vibes of that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
where Chief is traumatized from losing Cortana and nearly kills the weapon because he doesn't want to experience that again.
Right.
In
Right.
The Last of Us, Joel tries to get rid of Ellie because he doesn't want to experience the pain of losing another daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Uh, and
Which Last of Us game is that? I'm not familiar with them.
First one.
Oh,
Yes.
the one that was an utter shit. Yeah.
I'm playing through the second one and enjoying it.
Isn't The Last of Us 3 the really bad one?
No, there's only
There's
two.
no Last of Us. Yes.
all right.
Oh, Last
Either
of
way,
Us.
I see what you're saying, and you're absolutely, and that's the thing is like Chief feels that way. Specific, he does that because he does, and it humanizes him. Chief is no longer just a machine. It humanizes him in a subtle way. Like they don't openly, it's not like in Halo 4 where it's like, Chief, please tell me at the end of this, you'll figure out which one of us is the machine. It's subtle, it's nuanced, and I feel like the characterization with this game was really really nice. Now, let's talk about the villains. What do you guys think of the villains? Their motivations, their personalities, their characterizations. What do you guys think of them?
Talking about the villains?
Yep, talking about the villains. Start with our boy, the real MVP of the game, the one that everyone should really pay tribute to.
Escharum?
No, Tremonius. No, I'm kidding. Escharum. What do you guys think of Escharum?
He was.
If you don't look at the audio logs, you kind of can feel a bit disconnected.
Mhm.
But with the audio logs, I think it does make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I think even without them, he does have a sense of character progression. Like, he becomes obsessed with Chief because he doesn't want to die a peaceful life. He wants to fight.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I agree. I agree with Mando. Even without the audio logs, you still get quite a bit of insight into him, and it's such small things. The way he talks to his buddies, the way he orders around, he's very smart. He's been doing this for a long time. He knows how to fight tough battles because he's been camping out against the Covenant since the very beginning. He was basically Atriox's right hand man. Actually, possibly more like Atriox's mentor because he
He was Atriox's mentor.
Right. So this guy's a tough, mean dude. And he knew, and so he realizes that yes, Chief would be all the things he's done, all the accomplishments. Killing Chief will cap all of them, and he knows. Actually, no, even just he at the end, he's not even. He doesn't even. He kind of realizes toward like when Chief like wounds him, he knows he's not going to kill Chief. But he just wants to fight Chief and have a good fight because he knows that that'll be enough. Because Chief has done so much that even just fighting Chief and making Chief struggle is an accomplishment in and of itself. And he tells tell my guys that I died well, and that's what mattered to him. Now I feel like he's a little bit too. I feel like he's a little bit too aggressive towards humanity. I know they kind of have to build these guys up to be the big bad because Covenant's gone and because Cortana's faction is absolute trash story wise. I feel like at first the Banished don't have enough reason to be this hateful against humanity. Like it could just be them fighting humanity for the sake of control of the ring, but that's just like
I think it was like clarified in what's that the book with I forget which book it was, but they clarified
Shadows of Reach.
not Heroes of Reach, but a different one that it's really only Escharum who hates humanity and
Right.
not really Atriox.
All right, and why is that? Is that explained much?
I don't know. It could just be due to it. Just could be some like leftover remnants from
Right.
his time in the Covenant.
Possibly. All right. Atriox though does do quite a bit of humanity killing on his own. Like
Because remember, Escharum was the one who trained Atriox. Atriox was the one who founded the Banished. We could say.
Right. So Atriox on his own, to the best of our knowledge, Escharum was never at Installation 00. But Atriox was there, and he still massacred all the scientists, and he still fought pretty bitterly against the Spirit of Fire until, spoiler warning, it was destroyed. I'm kidding. Either way, though, so I feel like Escharum, the only real justification we get for his hatred is that humanity created Cortana, and Cortana blew up his homeworld, and I kind of get that, but that's really recent. He feels like the zeal that he has in fighting. It feels like he's been hating humanity for years and decades. Now, I'm sure the Banished wouldn't be rosy, given what we know. The Banished wouldn't be rosy with humanity, but they definitely wouldn't have this sort of zeal of just hunting them down, killing them to the last. People are broken, weak. Like unless of course he's just killing them just because he can, just because he makes them feel strong. But I feel like he's not that shallow. So that's part of the problem I have. But overall, it's not too bad. The other villains, the other main villain. What do you guys think of the Harbinger?
Not enough. There's not enough.
Not enough time for her. Yeah,
Not enough.
my thoughts are okay. Can I just get my main thoughts out of the way? Because
Go ahead.
about something. Okay. So you see a lot of people, like not a lot of people, but a decent amount of people, like saying that they don't like the story because feels like it doesn't really go anywhere. And my thought is that the story was actually meant to be a lot longer for the base game, but again, due to the development crap, they had to cut a lot of it to get it out the door in a good state.
Yep, I agree, and I hope to see a lot more of this moving forward. Yeah, so Harbinger, I think she did her purpose well. Now, she could have done more, but what this game is, what Halo Infinite's base campaign is setting up the next 10 years of Halo, and that part of that involves setting up the Endless, and honestly, as a primer for the Endless. And honestly, I feel like Halo Infinite's campaign did that phenomenally.
I think it did it really well. I'll just say I do think it had some issues, obviously,
right?
But I did like it a lot.
And part of that primer, I feel like the Harbinger did her role as Harbinger is one who foretells the appearance of another, and she foretells the appearance of the Endless pretty damn well. She means business, but she also has her own motives. And honestly, it's like she's a mean lady. I mean, yeah, I hate to say like that for about an alien, but she is a mean lady. But her motives are entirely altruistic. Her people were wrongfully imprisoned by the Forerunners because the Forerunners were arrogant assholes, and she just wants to bring them back. Now, we don't know exactly the nuances of that, and we don't know if bringing them back is going to cause some massive problems, and it very likely will. But it's still her people were still wrongfully imprisoned. Like if you were in her position, you would probably do the same thing. So it's this complex type of villain that I really like, and I feel like it's done pretty well.
I have a theory on what the Endless are gonna be like.
We'll keep the theories for a little later. Right now, it's just a review. But if you got some quick, then go ahead.
I have a feeling that because of the Forerunners imprisoning them, they're gonna be more of a militant society or something, like very hateful and vengeful towards those that oppose them.
Maybe
because
the
of what the
Endless
Forerunners did to
maybe the Endless will have kind of a jealousy, hatred towards humanity because the
Yeah,
Forerunners.
exactly. The favorite child. The favorite child. Yeah. I think so too. I don't know about military society because it's not like they've been locked away on some planet developing. It's kind of just they've been locked up in essentially what is cryopods. So they might be vengeful, and they might want to take their revenge on everyone else. So yeah, the Harbinger is pretty well. Her boss battle is honestly pretty good, except she's not the main boss of the fight. It's that damn brute chieftain at the very end, who's the real annoying one.
the real main villain.
Yeah, the real final villain is that brute chieftain that just. Oh, by the way, this is something that a lot of people had a problem with. How do you guys feel the development of certain information happened throughout the game? I know we're slightly backtracking, but to quote Sergeant Johnson, deal with it. How do you guys feel the information of Aatrox being dead, or at least perceived as dead, and Cortana also being dead? How do you guys think that was shared throughout the campaign? Because obviously,
I did not know what exactly went down until like the very end. So I think it did its job pretty well.
All right. But do you think that was like a mistake to just immediately dump that right after that? Like just tell you, yeah, everyone thinks Aatrox is dead, and oh yeah, Cortana's dead right off the bat.
Well,
I like how
obviously, so Cortana is part of the mystery, and Aatrox is also revealed. But do you think it was a mistake the way they just, do you think that could have been handled better? What do you guys think?
I would have done the same thing.
All right.
Though there is a criticism that I've seen. Can I explain my thoughts on that?
Go ahead.
So basically, the beginning of the game has Chief fight Atriox,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of continuing that rivalry, they just pit him against his mentor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you think that could be all right?
Funny coincidence. You know how at the beginning of the game, Atriox tells Chief that he's the last face he'll ever see,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the campaign ends, Atriox is the last face we see before it ends.
That's actually a really good point, and it's actually yeah. Uh, now the endless, yeah, they can mean a lot of things, uh, but from what we can tell, both based off their description in game, as well as the just the way what would make most sense moving forward, is going to be some really bad, some really really bad.
I think they are not in their current state, like in general more dangerous than the flood, like Cortana said, but I think they hold the dangerous like potential, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now, if they okay, so ordinarily we don't know why. We don't know what would cause that for them to be more like worse than the flood, as Cortana put it. Um, except for if they have time travel capability, which they are rumored to have, implied to have. If they have that, that is horrifying. Now, and there's already a lot of theories in the Halo community moving forward. Installation 00 had some theories. Halo Cannon had some theories. Lots of people have some theories. So,
Very reliable sources that will never lie.
sure. Well, it's not about being lying, because I don't think they would willfully, share information that they know is false. They might be wrong, of course, in their interpretation, but that's something else. We could be wrong about it this whole video. But honestly, as long as I get that sweet, sweet YouTube money, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm kidding. Uh, so, yeah. So overall, you guys think the villains were all right? Do you guys think we see enough of the banished side?
Well,
Huh?
Do you guys think?
no.
What do you guys? So what do you guys think? So traditionally, Halo, aside for Halo 2, I think we don't see that much of the banished. I'm not saying of the Covenant side. I don't think we. I'm not saying we don't see enough. I'm just saying we just normally. I'm just stating the fact that we normally would not see. Uh, like Halo in Halo 1, we did not see the Covenant planning how they are invading Halo 4 Installation 4 or anything like that. And in Halo 3, we barely get a little bit of like we get some of our allied elites perspective, but we don't get too much of the Covenant perspective outside of Halo 2. Do you guys think that? Do you guys think the Banished perspective is well explored, too much explored, not enough explored? What do you guys think?
Not enough.
Not enough.
All right, so it's good though because
I kind of am a bit nervous about what's going to happen to the Banish now.
Why?
Ty, why?
Hmm?
Why are you nervous about what's going to happen to the Banished? What are you?
I don't actually, no, I'm not anymore because I just realized what I was saying because Atriox is still alive. I'm an idiot.
Mind you, all the enemies we saw. I mean, I'm not saying that they were irrelevant to the Banished leadership. They're probably like the top dogs, but they were only in that small, cluster of floating islands. As were all the Banished troops we fought. I'm sure there was probably greater significance there because it's a fragmented area that probably leads to a great deal of Zeta Halo's inner guts and stuff. But it's like there's still a lot of banished boys left. They came in. Atrax tells you well. They came in loaded for bear. They had what do you say, like 1,000 occupying legions or something like that. They are absolutely loaded for bear. And so and of course the top dog or the former, yeah, he was pretty much the top dog. He is still there, and I think the reason why he went AWOL is that he had some sort of agreement with the Harbinger that he would help her find find the Endless. So he accomplished his mission. So he's about to come back, and he's probably going to be royally pissed off at the Chief for basically killing all of his mates and screwing things up. So I think there's still
It's only fair.
right. I feel like there's still a lot of stuff left to do, and of course, there's a lot of UNSC troops because I'm sure that the UNSC scattered all over the Halo ring, not just over not just over this cluster.
I'm pretty sure Lasky is on the ring.
Yeah,
I think because he got an escape pod, but also in another audio log, I think they said his pod crashed.
right. I mean, most of the pods crash. I think they're designed to crash. So either way, I think we're probably going to meet Lasky and some sort of semi-organized UNSC resistance on the rest of the ring. That'd be cool. And you'd probably start helping them out, and then you would connect because I think it might be a little bit uh, annoying for you to have to start with reestablishing the resistance from scratch again, because that's basically what you do in the base campaign. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for Infinite's story moving forward, and I'm excited to see it. Yeah. Now we're pretty much at the hour mark. We covered pretty much half of the review too, so I think this is part one, and we'll do part two next time. Either way, glad you guys watched this, and subscribe for more episodes, and hopefully you'll join us on the next episode of the Orbital Drop podcast.